Hello and welcome to my session about the flipping in classroom. We're now starting with part number 1. Okay, before we look at my alternative way of using the flipped classroom approach, let's just have a very quick look at the original idea of flipping your classroom. It started with Jonathan Bergman and Aaron Sams, and they have written a book that has been circulated widely where they also present their main ideas and how they started using this method. This chart is taken straight out of their book, and on the left-hand side we have the traditional classroom, starting off with a warm-up activity and then go over the previous night's homework. And the main area would be this lection new content, basically giving information to the students, and then you might have some guided independent practice. Now on the other hand, or on the other side, you have the flipped classroom, where this part is actually taken out of the classroom and you have the video at home. So the students watch the instructions before the class starts, and then when they arrive, they can have a quick warm-up activity, a Q&A on the video for 10 minutes, and then for the rest of the class, the teacher is freed up and can just work with the student, alongside with the student, on guided and independent practice and lab activities. This illustration shows the main idea behind the flipped classroom, in that the teacher's role is changing. Here on the left in the traditional classroom, the teacher is sage on the stage, whereas on the right-hand side in the flipped classroom, the teacher becomes the guide on the side. And the idea is that when content is taken out of the classroom, the teacher can come alongside students and can spend much more time face-to-face interacting individually with the students. The idea of the flipped classroom has spread quite rapidly around the world, and people are aware of it, not just within education, but I think more widely as well. I got really excited when I came across the flipped classroom model the first time, but very quickly I found a bit of a problem when I tried to practice it with my student or use it with my classes. And my problem was this: the students just didn't watch the video ahead of class, which meant that you couldn't really do much, and the whole thing kind of collapsed from there. Which is why I've been looking at other ways of using, or alternative ways of using, the flipped classroom approach, because I think it has a very good element of face-to-face interaction individually, which works really well in the Middle East. So this is what I came up with. I just call this type of teaching a video lesson, and I said to my students, I have sent you an email with a link to a video, just watch it. And that was it. I did not expect the students to watch it ahead of the class. I just allowed them to watch the video in class. And what did I put in the video? Well, basically, I just put together a few slides indicating or showing the students what I wanted them to do. This could include all sorts of things, like specific activities, pages in textbooks. And sometimes I just did a bit of chalk and talk. I just explained something like, for example, here I'm explaining but, and when you use but. And that was part of my video. Along with the content, the instructions and the information in these videos, I also provided the students with points where we would do feedback together as a class, some kind of checkpoints. So after trying different ways of using the video inside of class time, these are the main ideas I've come up with. Basically to prepare the instructional video for in-class use, which means that I do get that benefit of face-to-face time with my students, which I think is very important. And that is the main, or one of the main benefits of using this system. But also, I feel that I have to provide the students with some kind of feedback points or checkpoints during the lesson, so that it's not just floating completely freely. Okay, so now it's time for you to do some work. I've got a task for you, task number 1. Please come to me and I will give you task number 1, all right?